All right. Hello. We are live on this very beautiful Wednesday morning on planet Earth. If you're watching this right now or you're listening to this right now, you are on planet Earth. That I can guarantee. And given you are on planet Earth, you probably are also alive. Well, if you're alive and you're on planet Earth and you're watching me, it's a really interesting thing that's going on right now, because in this very moment, we are interacting in some way on planet Earth, live. You know that kid that, like, the teacher says, "Hey, did you read the book?" And he's like, "Yeah, I read the book." And he's trying to say, like, well, on the 7th chapter, what he was talking about was the fact that it was the 7th chapter, and he was really expressing how much the 7th chapter meant. That's basically what I just said. Anyway, welcome everybody to another morning live stream. We've got some interesting news going on today. Bill Ackman is probably shorting the market, understandably, and he is calling for a massive rate hike. Let's get into the Webull and just see what's going on in the markets overall. Let me reduce this a little bit. Let me move my chair this way. There we go. Nothing too crazy. Pre-market, pretty much flat. If we look at everything, Google's below 2100 again, pre-market. The watch list is also pretty flat. Tesla 628. Oh, 621. Oh, so Tesla's down another percent pre-market. I guess what I'm looking for this morning is, does Palantir go below 7 and just Tesla go below 600? And does Google go below 2000? Those are the three core things I'm looking for. Palantir, I think, is not probably going to get below 7. I mean, maybe. But Tesla and Google are the interesting ones. I actually did a poll yesterday on Twitter. And the poll was, let me pull up that poll. By the way, I'm at Emit is Investing on Twitter. If you're here, please follow me there. It's fun throughout the day talking about the market. I put a poll on Twitter, and I think I kind of asked you guys the poll there. Oh, we got to talk about Cathie Wood selling Spotify. We're going to talk about that. I don't mean to laugh at Spotify. I just mean to say we're gonna talk about that. Oh, this is my media. Basically, I put up a poll that says, would you rather buy Google or Tesla if you had $10,000 and you could go all in on one of them? Where is it? Here we go. So if Google below 2,000, Tesla below 600, you have 10K. Which one do you go all in on? Why? I said me, Google below 2,000. A majority of people said Google, to be honest. I mean, there was Tesla there, but most people are pretty much saying Google. So I would ask the question to you guys: which one would you pick as well? Good morning, Zaid. Good morning, Mad. Good morning, Uriel. Good morning, Steven. Ramuz, top of the morning. Chris, don't ever trust Bill Ackman. Makes sense. Some humongous trophy on the shelf. Yes, this is the next part of the background. I added a debate trophy that I won in 2015. I can't think of more stuff to put there. Chris, I gotta get that. Chris got me this Palantir thing. I gotta get it from him whenever I see him. But I'm trying to figure out what else to put there. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these particular stocks. We're going to talk about Bill Ackman. Cathie Wood sold a decent chunk of Spotify. Let's pull that up right here. She sold right here. So she sold 480,000 shares, which is not a small amount, okay, in the ARK KK fund. And then she sold 82,000 shares in the ARK W fund. So let's go to ARK right now. Now, why did she do this? I think, look, there's two reasons. Either she's losing her conviction over Spotify, which I think there's a lot of reasons why one could do that in this market in particular. But more likely, she just needs to free up cash because she's buying, what was she buying? She bought Tesla, 22,000 shares, so you need a lot of cash to buy Tesla. Roku, goodness gracious, 230. She's going to end up owning the whole company, like. So let's look at how much ARK holds. Okay. By the way, market open is 5 minutes from now. All right. Zoom is the #1 position in the ETF, 7 million shares. And by the way, Zoom's earnings were pretty phenomenal. I mean, like they're getting $1 billion a quarter. The free cash flow is amazing. So like Zoom is doing pretty well. Tesla, 1 million shares. That's 8.2%. Zoom is now 9% of the portfolio. Roku is 7.75% at 7 million shares. Exact Sciences, I don't know what this is. I should probably look into it. Why is it the 4th thing in Cathie? Teladoc is 6. Block is 5. Where's Spotify's 12 now. So she still has 2 million shares of Spot. Now, if this is a continued sell-off of Spotify, this may be a trend in a different direction. But she bought Spotify to free up money to buy 19,000 more shares of Zune, 43,000 of Coinbase, 69,000 Twilio, more Roku and Tesla. Wow, so Roku, Tesla, Coinbase, and Square. Those are the companies she's betting on at the end of the day. She brought Schrodinger as well. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Interesting. Google because Tesla's overvalued. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's overvalued. I do think it's the market's not ready to give it the frothy valuation it got before. But I think they do have the growth rate to kind of justify the valuation, but it's still rough. Now, if you speak to a more conservative investor, they would be like, Tesla, there's no way it should ever have hit 500 billion. But I guess we will see what happens. So that was that. Let me go to the Bill Ackman news. We're close to bottoming out. Well, we're not there yet. Morning, brothers. Suri, what's up? What's up? Happy you're here in the chat. I don't know if we're close to bottoming out. Like, I feel like we're close to bottoming out, but I don't know if we're close to bottoming out. Bill Ackman had some things to say. Oh, by the way, there was a new Palantir deal today. Palantir, it wasn't like crazy. It was their partnership with Stellantis or whatever. Palantir Newsroom. I think I'm gonna cover it in a different video. I haven't even fully read it yet. Kathy at this point is just buying random things. Well, she's buying the things that she really likes, I guess. Where is their investor PR? Where is this shit? Where is this shit? Here we go. Media press releases. There we go. Exact Sciences cancer testing, like CallGuard. Okay, definitely have to go into that. Nick Ward, admit always trying to be legit. That is correct. Oh, they didn't put it up here? Okay, I saw it on Twitter yesterday, but they did release something. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so where am I looking? Bill Ackman. So, Billy Ackman said that essentially some believe that higher short-term rates are bad for stocks. I disagree. The value of a long-term financial asset is the present value of the future cash flows it will generate over its life. The more back-ended cash flows from the asset, the more sensitive the asset is. With long-term, it would blah, blah, blah. The reason that why equities often fall at the beginning of the increases in the Fed funds is that the Federal Reserve normally acts preemptively to address inflation until inflation is satisfactorily addressed. Investors don't know if and how long it will take the Fed to quell inflation. Uncertainty is the enemy of the markets, particularly in the short term. He's right about that. That is why I believe the sooner and more aggressively the Fed raises rates to subdue inflation, the lower the risk of persistently high long-term rates. So that's the idea. It's like you don't want rates to be low forever, and if you don't want, or high forever, because obviously interest rates being high is bad, in order for it to not be high, you have to ultimately get rid of inflation, because the whole reason we have high interest rates is to curb inflation. Well, if you curb inflation by just ripping off the Band-Aid by getting interest rates to basically go away, or to getting inflation to go away by raising interest rates high, then that means you can eventually or more quickly get interest rates back lower, which is what everyone wants. But inflation has to go away first, right? So until that happens, it's going to be harder for the Fed to act. So his argument is like, look, just rip off the Band-Aid, bro. Just make inflation go down. Like, put the Fed fund rate at, forget 75 basis points, 100 basis points, and let's get it over with. You know, everyone was like crying over it's 50 or 75. Bill Ackman's like, bro, like, it's not, the market will adjust. Like we're already, like, if you make it 75, I actually kind of agree with Bill. It's like, if you just make it higher, we can move on. Now, he's probably shorting the market as a result of what he's saying. I'm not going to lie. But nonetheless, I also am in the camp of like, let's just get it over with and move on. S&P at 393, NASDAQ at 264. All right, let's see if I can time this market open. Everybody, the market is open. Wake your ass up. Let's see what happens in these markets and where things ultimately go. Boom, we are open. We are open. All right. We got a lot of red, a little bit of green, more red than not. Snapchat. We got to talk about Snap. It went down bad. Okay, up 1%. People are realizing 12 is probably ridiculous, so Snapchat is up. Tesla down 623, down in the market. Tesla's down. SPY is down a little bit. QQQ down a lot. Snapchat kind of screwed it up, to be honest. What else do we have? ARK Innovation. ARK is down below 40. ARK is down Apple down below 140. Costco 430. I mean, Costco was 612 literally on April 29th. Sheesh, man. That's rough. What else do we got? Let's go to Palantir. Where are we doing on Palantir? 760. Up a little bit. Up 5 cents. We're up 5 cents. We're up 5 cents. I'm so happy. Okay. I hope you guys like that ASMR. What else do we got? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Thank you, 171 people, for being here. Appreciate you guys. At what price will you be adding more to your Palantir position? If it gets to the low sixes, I'll be adding more. I think it might get there, so I'm not in a hurry to buy Palantir. And if I have to buy it at $9 versus $7, I don't care. So I'm really not in a worry to buy it. Let me put it at the 1 minute chart. Sorry about that, Tay. Let me get that there. Tesla no longer number one holding dark. Yeah, it's Zoom. Let's go to Zoom stock right now, and we're gonna talk about their earnings actually in a second. Zoom. So Zoom's having a nice little candle. It's up $95 a share. Let's look at their max chart. Zoom's at $588 at the peak. This was October 2020. And so this is when ARK was buying, by the way. You got to remember, this chart is how ARK was buying. Some analysts were saying that it would have been better for Zoom to just have grown naturally without the pandemic because it is a really great business. It's just, the way the pandemic kind of priced it was kind of rough. Okay, Zoom stock. Let me just do Zoom stock. Yeah, I should be able to get the earnings. Okay, so let's look at the Zoom earnings. Zoom popped 16% on a first quarter earnings beat and strong guidance. Let's read a little bit about the numbers. Earnings, $1 per share versus 87 cents. Nice beat. And then they matched on revenue, $1 billion. They did $1 billion of revenue in the quarter. That's like really good. Like Palantir is going to try to do about $1.9 billion in the year, and they're not profitable. And Zoom is doing $1 billion in a quarter. I mean, like, that's pretty phenomenal. It's not bad at all. In the full year, Zoom expects revenue between 4.5 to 4.55 billion. It expects earnings between 370 and 370 per share, 377 versus 353. So they're estimating they're going to probably meet on revenue and beat on earnings. Look, you can understand why Kathy likes it. I also did a video about Zoom a while ago, and the sort of larger thesis is that they are a communications portal for the freelancers of the world, and the freelance communication digital portal, Kathy estimates, is a $4 or $5 trillion economy because, like, people who don't have traditional jobs, they need to communicate, and Zoom is that communication portal. Now, the bet on Zoom, and this is an interesting thing to think about if you're trying to bet on Zoom. The bet on Zoom is that Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, none of these things become communication portals in the context of video and whatever other products they come up with, but video is the main thing, for enterprises and freelancers of the world to have a go-to product that gets the job done, which is allow communication in a way that allows people to build their business. Now, that might seem like it's not a moat, but if you really think about it, I do think it's a hell of a moat because the product of Zoom is so phenomenal. It is so simple. It's so easy. It's so like I did Microsoft Teams the other day and it sucked. Like Zoom is just one of that thing that it works, right? And when something works, like the whole world might end up using it one day, right? And I think that's the bet on Kathy. The question is the market going to value it the way Kathy is thinking of valuing it? But I definitely think Zoom has a pretty big moat. I wouldn't buy it because I'm not, I don't buy into the overall thesis and like that it's going to be this communication portal for the entire world. But I do think it has a moat. It's just a question of if the market's going to respect it. Like I would rather, if I had to spend $96 a share, I would rather buy like 10 Palantir shares versus one Zoom share. So that was that. Target holding steady at 150. Morning Gold, Gary, what's up? ARK should be out of business in 6 months. ARK's not going to be out of business, but it is. I mean, more people are throwing dollars at her. ARK is getting more dollars. $39 right here as their. Larry says Zoom has no moat. I disagree. I think Zoom has a phenomenal moat. And the reason I think it has a phenomenal moat is because I think it has in a world in which it's so hard to get one thing right. Like, look at YouTube. Like, YouTube gets video right. YouTube does not get YouTube Shorts right. Because you can say the same thing about TikTok. TikTok doesn't have a moat. Well, why are people watching short-form video on TikTok over YouTube Shorts? Because they got it right, even though it's one thing, right? So to me, it's like I feel like if you get things right, they could do that. The way Spotify beat Apple, Zoom will beat any larger company that's not as focused. That's a really good point, right? Spotify should never have beaten Apple. I mean, Apple literally, they made the iPhone. They have music, right? they can access billions of people that have music. So they never should have won, but they did because they were hyper-focused on music. By the way, this camera's about to die. Let me put in the charger real quick. Let me put in the charger. Wow, I can like... Alright, here we go. I can like smell the hot air coming out of my computer. That's how much we recorded Money Talks in the morning, so I've already been using my computer enough for today. Alright, so... Yeah, Spotify should have never beaten Apple, but they were able to beat them, right? And as a result of them being able to beat them, that happened. If the metaverse succeeds, won't Teams and Zoom gets destroyed? No, I don't. The metaverse is... I don't. Teams and Zooms is like either enterprise communication or just you being able to speak with other people and like freelance work. The metaverse to me is more of a place where you play. Now, if the metaverse becomes the place where you work and like I'm a freelancer and I'm meeting up with a client and I'm negotiating a contract and we both meet in the quote unquote metaverse, maybe. But either Zoom's gonna I think Zoom is already a form of a metaverse to some extent, and I think they would innovate on top of that, or I just don't think you guys would go to a metaverse. I think you would just hop on a Zoom call. And maybe if it's virtual glasses, like let's say Facebook comes out with the glasses, Zoom can build a Facebook app on top of Facebook's glasses, and then you can just Zoom through the glasses, right? That could be another form of innovation. So what I was going to say about Spotify is that they should have never beat Apple, but they did, right? In terms of music. So like hyper focus and hyper specificity is incredibly important when you're thinking of these things. What trading platform is that I'm using? I'm using Webull. Why aren't we worried that Palantir makes $2 billion a year but isn't profitable? It's a good question. It's a question that shows that you probably don't know that much about why they're not profitable. The reason they're not profitable is because of stock-based compensation. I actually talked with Tom about this a lot last night. We did a live stream last night at 2 a.m., so I'm a little bit tired right now. We literally did a live stream at 2 a.m. But look, the whole point of this is that to get the best talent in the world, which is what Palantir needs, you need to pay people correctly. And there's a war for talent that is astronomical right now. And I think that in the next 2 years, stock-based compensation will significantly be reduced, which will lead to GAAP profitability. When you get GAAP profitability, you will be profitable. They have 30% operating margins without stock-based comp, so it's important to understand that. And they have no debt, $2.3 billion free cash on their balance sheets. Fidelity is already experimenting with having meetings using the Oculus. Yeah, that could happen. But and that could happen. They're already cash flow positive. Yes, they are. Exactly. Tesla making a recovery, up 2%. Not too bad. Look, we're getting green candles. Look, the market's turning green. I guess the question is how green can we stay? All right, so here's something new that we have to talk about. Who knows Wework? Has anyone seen We Crashed? Can you guys let me know if you guys have seen We Crashed? Because that's really important for this next story. Which is that Adam Neumann, who is the CEO of Wework, guys just came in, we're green, we are green, guys. I don't know how, but we are green for a little bit. Adam Neumann-backed blockchain startup Flow Carbon raises $70 million. We talked about this on Money Talks today. It was a fun segment. This is a carbon exchange credits blockchain cryptocurrency platform. That's what it is. Sounds kind of crazy when you're saying that, right? But basically, it's called Flow Carbon. And Wework CEO, this guy raised $70 million to... now, he's not going to be the CEO, but he put in money for it. For those who know anything about Web3, tokenization is the method by which a lot of these startups operate on. And the name of the token is called the Goddess Nature Token. So, the Goddess Nature Token, as you can see, Flow Carbon was co-founded by Adam Neumann, his wife Rebecca, and then a bunch of the other people. Goddess Nature Token is the currency that they're using, and carbon emissions they'll be able to trade on the blockchain. Basically, if you're a company and you use a lot of carbon dioxide, you can buy these credits to offset the amount of carbon dioxide you release into the environment, so it helps with the regulation of your company. Well, I guess Flow Carbon is the company that is his next venture. So, yeah, Adam Neumann, backed blockchain startup. One thing they said about Adam Neumann, I don't know if you guys know that much about him, but he is a hell of a salesman. And let's go to Wework stock right now. As a result of being that big of a salesman, dude, how did Jared Leto raise $70 million? Jared Leto was great in that show, by the way. He was actually... Wow, Wework is $1.03? Wait, am I on the right Wework? They IPO'd at... there's no way this is the right Wework. Hold on, let me Google it. What? This is weird. Wework stock. Yeah, I knew I was on the wrong one. So they IPO'd at $9. They got to a high of like maybe 12. Now they're down at $6.49. Yeah, WeWork's going to need something revolutionary to get them and the market to care. Oh, here we go. Here's the stock. So yeah, WeWork was once a $47 billion company. Adam Neumann kind of screwed everything up. Now it's a $4 billion company around that. What's their market cap? Their market cap is $4.7 billion. And that's ultimately what they are. Jared Leto is a cult leader. I love Jared Leto though. He was so great on that show. So the point is like, Adam Neumann backing that startup is interesting because the question becomes, what is his role going to be in directing the trajectory of that startup? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be doing. He's not the CEO, but his fingerprints are all over it. They have some other really good investors that are in it, like A16Z, which is a popular venture capital firm, Samsung, a bunch of these guys, General Catalyst. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's freaking Adam Neumann. Like, come on, bro. Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. Who else are the investors? The investors are 166 Seconds, Sam and Ashley Levinson, RSC Ventures, Algory Labs, and all these other people. Dang, $6.49. Yeah, $6.49. That's the stock price. All right, let's go on CNBC. Let's load up some content. Let's see check out some videos. Oh, here we go. Money Talks is out. Do we want to see the intro? Let's just do the intro to Money Talks. I kind of forgot what my intro was. Let's do the intro. It's on Tom's channel. We're experimenting this week on Tom's channel. It's not always going to be there. Maybe we're experimenting.
Welcome.
All right.
Welcome back to Money Talks, where Palantir CEO warns of a nuclear war, but every time after he speaks, the stock price makes me want to go to the liquor store. I'm your unofficial host, Amit, always trying to be legit, here with Tom Nash and Justin O, and today we discuss if Bill Ackman will actually get the market to finally plateau. Today we're going to be going over our hot takes. Second, if Bill Ackman is actually going to allow the Fed to raise interest rates exponentially. Third, Palantir CEO warning of a nuclear war and should we be taking him seriously? And then finally, Adam Neumann is back and better than ever with a new blockchain carbon-based startup. Can he pull it off? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Money Talks, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another Wednesday morning edition of this amazing, amazing show. We're going to start off with some hot takes. Tom, let's go with you. What's your hot take for today?
My hot take is I literally can't decide what is worst. The fact that you just set up a topic by asking if Bill Ackman would allow the Fed to raise interest rates, or the fact that you're wearing a frying pan on your head.
All right, you're gonna have to go there to see the rest of that exchange. That was funny. That was funny. All right, let's see what CNBC's got going on. What do we got? What are people saying? Increase your mic audio. You're quiet and everything else is loud, even ads. Wait, my mic is off? What? You're the first person to say something. Oh yeah, my mic was low. Wow, no one told me. Okay, the mic should be way better now. Hopefully for everybody. Do you think Karp's Tai Chi moves on TV will make the stock go up? No, but it's still nice to see it. Okay. What do we want to see? What was some good stuff to see? Here we go. Market bottom should be established by this fall. Let's see.
Will you be saying that the S&P and Dow both are now maybe in a cyclical bull after having been in a cyclical bear of 20% or more? You figure that's probably going to be. We still haven't closed at 20% losses in either, but you figure we will.
Yeah, I figure we will. I'm looking at this as a cyclical bear, as you mentioned, within a secular bull. And the cyclical bear has room for downside follow through on the back of an oversold bounce. We're looking for perhaps a bottom to be established closer to September or October, and based very simply on our indicators. And some people say, well, that would make a lot of sense, and that's great too. So we're hoping to see some signs of a bottom there that are long-term in nature, but right now we just don't have them. 3,400,
3,500 on the S&P is the terminal bottom. Hopefully it's not terminal.
3,400, right? That's what JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have been saying as well.
But that's the terminal bottom.
The 3,500 level is about a 50% retracement of the uptrend off the pandemic low. I think that might be a little bit conservative in terms of establishing the end target for this bear cycle. 3,200 is the secondary. Yeah, I know, unfortunately.
Do you have to say these things? That's what you did last time when you're like, I'm trying to get you to go like this. And
we appreciate it. We want to hear what you really think.
So 3,400 might be conservative. So what's more? What's less? What's aggressive?
I think worst case scenario should be about 3,200 because that's a secondary level below 3,500. It's based on a very important Fibonacci.
3,200. 3,200. 3,200. So she thinks that 3,200 is the bottom. Wow. 3,200 is the bottom.
Fibonacci retracement level, which you know I love. So that to me seems like a natural place for this to end. But if we see signs of downside exhaustion that are long-term in nature before that, obviously we'd get vocal on that. And I'll keep you posted.
Katie, obviously we try and listen to people who look at this from all different angles. Jeremy Siegel was on yesterday and he was talking about how he thinks we're getting much closer to a bottom. Is there anything you see in your charts, anything you're watching that could kind of say, okay, he could be right in this scenario?
You know, to look on a bright side, and I don't know how bright it is, the high growth arena has become oversold from a long-term perspective, and that also carries over to the small cap benchmarks like the Russell 2000 index and even emerging markets. So we do have some long-term oversold conditions in those areas. It doesn't mean you rush out to buy them, but it could create a bit of a floor and even start to improve their relative strength. We started to see some inklings of that recently looking at emerging markets versus the US, et cetera. So we're looking for a little stabilization in those deeply oversold areas of the market. We're not really seeing that in earnest yet, but that could be the first step towards a bottoming process. The catch is, of course, the major indices are so heavily exposed to the large cap complex, and they still, unfortunately, have a lot of room to long-term oversold territory.
I mean, that analysis is not crazy. Her argument is pretty simple. It's just like, look, things are oversold, but long term, there are no catalysts to go further, which means if there's not, then we just might have more pain and we got to get through with it. And Bill Ackman's argument is like, let's just get through with it then. Right? It's like, all right, let's do it. Thank you. Let's get it done. And I think ultimately we're going to see, what happens. But I doubt the Fed would act that expeditiously because the Fed is not known to make such dramatic changes in that way. Tesla, 630. Tesla's staying. I mean, the market's pretty flat. Palantir is pretty much where it started. Nothing crazy changed today. Today's been a little bit of a boring day. The housing data did come out. I was going to do a video about this to try to analyze this and give my talks. Dick's. Oh, we'll talk about Dick's. We'd love to talk about Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods shares sink after retailer cuts outlook for the year, joining broader retail trend. What is Dick's stock symbol other than hard? No, I'm just kidding. I had to. Wow. Okay. Well, it went down 6%. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not like a horrible drop. They were at 147 in August 2021. They IPO'd 2002. Wow, $3. So since then, they've been steadily growing. And now they're getting back to levels they were at April 2021 at $66. So they're down on, what is this, bad earnings? Or not bad earnings, bad guidance. What did they say? As forecasting same-store sales to be down 8% to down 2%. expects to earn $9.15 or $11.70 per share. Does Dix have an? They have 2.7 billion, which is not bad in the quarter. They had a profit of 260 million. Sales fell 8%. Now, does Dix have a dividend? Does Dix have a dividend? A dividend. Historical dividend payout and yield for Dix, they current at 2.25%. Okay, so they do have a little bit of a dividend. What is Apple's dividend? What is Apple's? There we go. 0.66%. So if for every share of Apple you have right now, if you bought it now, you would get 23 cents a share. 23 cents a share. Amit, did you get much sleep from your 2 a.m. stream? Actually, the stream was done by what? Like 3:30? So then I fell asleep by like 3:45-ish, and then I woke up at 8, but I had to wake up in the middle because I had to plan some stuff for the Money Talk show. So yeah, about 4 hours. But it'll be okay because grind doesn't stop. Nvidia reports earnings today after market close. Any bets on up or down? That's it. I want the chat to also respond to that. Nvidia is reporting. I think it's going to crash the market. I don't think. I mean, what's like? Let's look. I mean, what are they going to report? Something phenomenal, or are they going to report something average? And if it's average, that's not good. And if it's below average, that's really not good. So I think the obvious answer is it's not going to be the best. They're expected to get $8 billion on the quarter. Wow. And 1.29 per share. So those are the numbers. $8 billion on the quarter, 1.29 a share. If they come in at like 7.9 billion and maybe, 103 per share, 109, 115, that could be rough. So Nvidia makes money a lot on the chips and the demand for chips. And if that goes away, there is a strong argument that Nvidia is just not going to have, or the market's not going to like it. Let's look at their stock. It's down pretty decently over the past couple months. 167 was, if we go back 6 months, 346 in November, right? Like, I remember Nvidia in October, bro. The amount of FOMO that was there for Nvidia in October was insane. Like, Nvidia in October was just, I remember it was going up every single day. I was getting ready to buy it. I'm like, then they did the stock split from 800 to 200. And thankfully I didn't buy it because I didn't understand anything about it, but it was just going up every single day. I mean, most stocks were, but Nvidia was just on a tear. And like there was so much FOMO buying that stock. Where's Bitcoin right now? 29K. All right, Bitcoin's at 29K. I need my sleep. Yeah, sleep is important. Amit is young. A few hours of sleep, no biggie. Yep, that's what we got to do when you're young. Why is no one talking about Karp's WEF forum panel? So Karp is on that panel. I don't know if it's live streamed, so I'm waiting till the video comes out so we can actually like understand what he's talking about. I think we kind of know what he's talking about, but yeah, I definitely am looking forward to seeing that. Nvidia has a lot of weight. I know everyone thinks they're going to mission crash, but my optimism wants them to save the market. But the thing is, there's no saving the market. Like, nothing is going to save the market right now. So that's the problem, right? No matter how Nvidia does, it's not going to save the market. Let's go to Palantir's newest deal that they announced today. Let me pull up. I don't see it on their newsroom, so I'm going to go to a channel or account, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. Palantir announces global enterprise deal with Stellantis. So let's read this. Palantir Technologies today announced a partnership with one of the world's leading automakers and mobility providers, Stellantis. Let's go to their website real quick. One-on-one with Stellantis, global and diversity inclusive. What do they do? Menu, about us. Our portfolio brands is uniquely positioned to offer innovative and sustainable solutions to meet the evolving needs of customers. Are these guys kind of like a consulting firm for automotives? Interesting. Okay, so let me read it. Stellantis will deploy Palantir's Foundry operating system across the company brands, business functions, and plant locations to accelerate its digital transformation into a sustainably mobile tech. The agreement will expand Palantir's previous relationship with Stellantis, founding companies to a global enterprise-wide license, with Palantir Foundry powering decisions among markets. Palantir, blah, blah, blah. That's basic stuff about Foundry. Foundry will be used across a wide variety of functions designed to help improve quality, ensure continued delivery and service in today's supply-driven world, and continue to contribute to improved margins. For example, the ability to analyze billions of connected vehicle data points through Foundry will give Stellantis a tool. Interesting. Okay. And I think so. I did an article the other day on dailypalantir.com that, by the way, everyone should check out for their Palantir fix every day. And Palantir worked with Chrysler Fiat, which I think might be one of the companies included in the Stellantis portfolio. I don't fully know, but they saved 1,500 jobs at a car plant, and it was a sort of technology-driven innovation approach. It was a really interesting piece that I found on them, and I think Stellantis works with them. So let me watch their video because I actually don't know what these guys do. So let's watch their video.
We don't just make cars, we craft stories. Stories that have been part of our lives, that have made history, guided by a clear vision. Freedom of movement for everyone. Today, mobility is undergoing a fundamental transformation. It touches us all and enables our dreams. Connecting cities, connecting people, connecting present and future. It's about exploring new opportunities, responding to new needs, and all in harmony with the world around us. In this new era of mobility, it's not about being the biggest, it's about pursuing greatness. That is why we, a diverse and talented group of 300,000 men and women, working in 50 countries around the world, and powering iconic vehicles and mobility brands with millions of ideas.
You guys are saying Stellantis bought Chrysler. Yeah, the reason Palantir worked with Chrysler Fiat a couple of years ago, 2018, to like help them modernize and digitize their supply chains and logistics in the factories, made me think that when this press release came out, that's why this is happening. Like, they didn't just pitch Stellantis on this global partnership. They did this because they worked with them 4 years ago in Chrysler Fiat, right? So, yeah, it's a group of car brands. It's a collection of different car brands, and they're going to be using Foundry as the operating system to just look. It's exciting. It's definitely cool. It's an enterprise deal. We don't know how much it's worth. We don't know how much money is in this, but you want more and more of these as they're working with companies. This comes off of the deal they did yesterday with Trafigura, which I did a piece on, and I recommend everyone read that piece. It's the first thing on Daily Palantir. I really, really liked this partnership to tackle climate change. I mean, I was a big fan of this one. So, yeah, this is it's good news. Good news at the end of the day to me. Definitely good news. Stellantis was the parent company when Renault and Fiat merged. It's a rebrand name for Chrysler Fiat. Ah, okay. Like Facebook renamed to be. Gotcha. Okay, so it's the same company they worked with in 2018. Which makes sense then that they're having this partnership with them. Cool. All right, guys, I got to go. Got to get a lot of stuff done. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday morning with me. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll keep going from there. A couple more videos coming out today around some of the stuff we talked about this morning. And yeah, Wednesday morning, middle of the week, got to get a lot of stuff done. Hope you guys have a great week and get some more stuff done. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9:20 a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.